As we got the first round of the playoffs here at the Nike RBI World Series between the Cleveland Guardians and the Dominican Republic. A showdown to stay alive as it is now win or go home. It's the best time of the playoffs and it's all ready to begin right here, right now, 9 o'clock a.m., clear skies, full hearts, Guardians and Dominican Republic. Let's go to war. First pitch on the money for strike one, and that's how we begin as Ronnie Castillo is on the mound rocking the number 11 jersey. The righty will face Fernando Tirado, the second baseman, to start things off. We'll go over the rest of the lineup after this 0-1 offering. That one's taken low. Gets past the catcher, and the count is 1-1 strike. Tirado leads things off for the Guardians while Josiah Martinez bats second. Ryan Shepard is batting third while Braden Colleran is batting cleanup. Julian Taveras bats fifth. Owen Scanlon bats sixth. Jackson Briggs bats seventh. Next pitch fouled off. 2 strikes. Batting eighth is Finley Barman, and rounding out the lineup, it is Omar Baez-Kokia. And he'll round out the lineup for the Guardians, who are 0-2-1. However, they're in one of the rarest scenarios where a team cannot win a game in pool play, but still qualify for the playoffs. I'll tell you about that in a second here as the next pitch popped foul, and the count remains the same, 1-2 strikes. Guardians, they started off with a loss to New Orleans where, although New Orleans is the number 1 seed, Guardians gave them a big run for their money, only losing that one 3-5. It came down to an intense battle in the final frame. Then it was Durham where they lost 1-3, a game in which the Guardians very well could have won. Just a few mistakes, including a tag-up mistake as their ball put on the ground over to the shortstop, Lager. Tough play. Here's the throw. It's offline. First baseman tries to tag, but he's not able to apply it, and there's a leadoff base hit for the Cleveland Guardians. Tirado, the leadoff man, is on with an infield single. Guardians rocking the Navy jerseys today. Red and Navy batting helmets. The jerseys they're wearing matches the City Connects of the Cleveland Guardians that just debuted this season. One of the nicer City Connects, in my opinion, in the league. The Dominican Republic, they're in their Royals today. Royal blue caps, royal blue jerseys, blue socks, white pants. They're representing the home team. And as I mentioned, 2 losses to start things off for the Guardians, and it got into a winner-take-all scenario in their last matchup against Passaic. However, you know the phrase, there's no ties in baseball. That doesn't apply here, as there was a tie between Passaic and Cleveland, but the Guardians did win the tiebreaker, and that's how they find themselves in this situation, playing in the playoffs, even with an 0-2-1 record. And that's all it takes. All it takes is just getting into the playoffs. Doesn't matter what your record is to this point. If you make something happen, you're going to find yourself in a good position as the count is 1-1 to Josiah Martinez. He's going to be the pitcher today for the Guardians, hailing from Cleveland, a team that switched divisions. They were used to be in the Central Division, now moving over towards the East Division. And they used to have the playoff matchups over in Chicago and used to compete with the White Sox, Cubs, and all the other teams that are in that area. But now you see a bit of a switch up as they are now competing against some different teams as they compete in Pittsburgh. Fly ball over to right center. Zenon moving over to his right, calls off his teammate and makes the catch for out number 1. Let's go over the defense while we have a moment. It's Duval doing the catching today while Taveras is at first base. Cabelos is at second base while Lager is your shortstop. Pinheiro is at the hot corner. Batista in left field. Roa in center field. And Zenon in right field for Team Dominican Republic, a team that tied for first place in their pool. However, it was a 3-way tie where they all round-robined each other, all 2-1. And how it shook up based off the tiebreakers, the White Sox were the division champions. Pop up in the air, play for the shortstop, and a nice basket catch there from Lager retires Ryan Shepard. So just like that, Ronnie Castillo picking up some steam on the mound now. Castillo from Haina, Dominican Republic, and is in the class of 2029, one of the younger guys at this tournament, getting the nod here in the playoffs. Got a turf field here at Determination, but there is natural dirt at home plate and on the mound. So it's kind of a hybrid in that way. Top of the first, no score, 1 runner on, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. That one's taken low. A little bit of trouble there for Duval, but able to corral it before Tirado moves to first, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes to Braden Colleran. Colleran's from North Ridgeville, Ohio, and is getting ready to attend the prestigious St. Ignatius High School. They always have great sports programs and everything. Includes baseball as well, too. They send multiple guys to Division I colleges every single year. The reason I know that, I broadcasted for the Ohio Bobcats for the last couple of seasons, and there were a couple of St. Ignatius guys that were not just on the Bobcats, but at some other schools in the conference as well. 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the next offering. Charge putting in that one over to right center field. Zenon gets a beat on it, but gives way to Roa, who makes the catch, and that retires the side. First base runner gets on for the Guardians, but after that, a 1-2-3 frame for Ronnie Castillo. And now the Dominican Republic will get to showcase what they can do on offense when we come back here at the first round of the playoffs in the junior division at the Nike RBI World Series. We're just about ready for the home half of the first inning on a beautiful morning for baseball. Nike Junior RBI World Series, and we are now in the playoffs, and it'll all culminate tomorrow when these teams compete in the championship. We'll see which 2 teams remain. It started with 8. We're down to just 6 as it stands right now. And now Dominican Republic, they grab the bats for the first time today. Omar Cabelos leads things off and takes ball 1 low. Josiah Martinez is the pitcher today for the Cleveland Guardians. Stands and fires at the 1-0. That's his first strike of the day, a changeup. And the count is even, 1 ball, 1 strike. For the Dominican Republic, it's Omar Cabelos starting things off, while Jose Lager will bat second. Juan Carlos Mesa bats third as the next pitch is taken for a strike. Julio Zenon will bat fourth. Indel Pinheiro is batting fifth. Adrian Taveras is batting sixth. And then 7, 8, 9 in the order, Batista, Duval, and Roa to round out the lineup for 2-1 Dominican Republic. A team that very well could have won Pool B if they won the tiebreakers, but the tiebreakers did not shake out their way. 2-2 pitch. That one's low. We've seen a lot of breaking stuff so far from Josiah Martinez. Mostly change-ups. We'll see what he deals here. 3 balls and 2 strikes to the leadoff guy, Cabelos. And there's a leadoff walk. So Dominican Republic already has a base runner on, and they're working against a Guardians defense It has Martinez on the mound, Colleran doing the catching, Shepard at first base, while Tirado is your second baseman. Tavares is your shortstop, Briggs is on the hot corner, Ortiz is your designated defender, he's out in left field, Barman at center field, and Baez Kokia at right field. No score, bottom of the first, nobody out and one runner on, and here's Jose Lager. Runner goes on the first pitch, pitches a ball, throw down to second base, the tag, it's in time. What an absolute snipe from behind the dish by Colleran, and the runner had no chance. So just like that, the bases are clear, one away in the inning, and now you got some extra wind behind yourselves if you're Martinez, who deals a breaking ball outside. 1 ball, or check that, 2 balls and no strikes. That's a big play there, though. Dominican Republic trying to test their guys early. There's a line drive. That's in shallow left center. That drops for a base hit. Barman working his way to his right to field that one. And there is the first base hit of the day, and it comes from Jose Lager. But there's a situation there where you help out your pitcher. You don't catch the runner stealing there. It would have been first and third, and arguably could have been a run scored on a base hit like that. Juan Carlos Mesa to the fray. Pickoff attempt not in time. Lefty on righty matchup. First offering. Swing and a miss. Pitch that sunk below the zone right there and made it very tricky for Juan Carlos Mesa, the designated hitter. Fun schedule we have today. We start things off in the morning with this game you're watching right in front of you, Dominican Republic and Cleveland. And there's a hit by pitch. So 3 up, 3 on. However, the caught stealing does prevent the bases from being loaded. However, 2 guys are on right now, Lager at second and Mesa at first. Well, we'll see. It looks like there's an appeal. Yeah, it looks like they are going to reverse the call. Maybe they believe the runner kind of ran into the ball or kind of leaned into it. So instead it's a strike, so the count is 0-2 now. So that's fortunate for the Guardians. Let's see if they can take advantage here. Pitch from Martinez. Ball sent over towards the shortstop. Glove by Tavares. Over to Tirado, but it gets past him. Runner still continuing to go. Lager back on his feet, and he digs towards third. And that's runners on the corners. What could have been a double play ball. So an E6 takes what could have been the end of an inning and changes it into one where the Dominican Republic can cash in immediately. Other playoff game that we have going on, it'll be Durham and Macon in their first tournament, and they really started off strong, got an early win, and they are 2-1 and have a chance to win their first playoff game here at the RBI World Series. Team based out of Georgia, taking on another team based in the Southeast in Durham. And depending on the seeding, whoever wins these matchups, they'll either face the Chicago White Sox or New Orleans, as there's a ball lifted over towards foul territory to the right side. It's kind of in my blind spot, so the only way I'm going to be able to figure out what happens is based off the reactions of people. It appears there was no catch. It's a strike. And Zenon has the count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Also have a consolation game going on at Holman Stadium. Dodgers versus Passaic. For Cleveland, got to be feeling good that they at least were able to get the nod over Passaic, despite having the exact same record. That ball sunk to the ground and tried to be gloved by Briggs. It gets past him. Runner comes in safe. It's Lager. And back-to-back mistakes allowed the Dominican Republic to take the early lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. Certainly challenging reading the hops here. Turf sometimes can have truer hops, But the morning turf is a little bit different than the afternoon turf. You have a lot of humidity and you get a lot of dew on the grass and on the turf. And it makes it more difficult, especially earlier in the morning, to glove the baseball. And we saw that with that last sequence. That ball is careened over towards right field by Pinheiro, but it's caught by Baskokia. Does throw it back into the infield, and that's 2 away in the frame. Well hit ball there, but right to Baskokia. And that team brings us to Adrian Tavares. If the Guardians can get out of this with just 1 run given up, that would be a win, given some of the self-inflicted wounds. Thing with Adrian Tavares coming up here as the first baseman, he's got a chance to really set the Dominican Republic in a good position here. Has a runner in scoring position, and he'll swing and line that one right down the middle, and that's through for a base hit. Green light is on. Here comes Carlos to the plate. The throw is going to be chopped just in front of it, not in time, and that is an RBI for Adrian Tavares. And that's what you got to do in 2-out situations. Continue to pour it on, continue to score offense. And the Dominican Republic is doing just that. They're up 2-0. However, we'll see. There was something I did not see. So I'll get that call here, but it appears that the Guardians got their final out, so maybe somebody was off the bag. We'll figure that out when we come back, but as it stands right now, 2-0, but maybe a run will be taken away when we come back here for the top of the second here at the Nike RBI World Series. Welcome back to the top of the second inning, where the Dominican Republic leads 1-0 over the Cleveland Guardians RBI squad. And going back to that sequence, I was a little confused at the end of the first. However, the umpires did a good job diagnosing the situation. The runner that came in to score did not touch the third base bag, and that resulted in an out. So that's a fortunate break there for the Guardians. So despite a couple of mistakes in the field, due to that amazing play behind the dish by Colleran to throw out a runner. And then that break right there, they only gave up 1 run to begin the frame. Now here's Tavares working against the pitcher, Ronnie Castillo, who gave up a leadoff base hit, but after that was lights out, collecting 3 outs consecutively. So it is 1-0 as that run was taken away. Now here's an opportunity for Tavares, who takes strike 1. got to see Tavares play a little bit. Had a walk and then a fielder's choice in the game against Durham. He also pitched a complete game, 6 innings pitched, and was very effective for his team despite the loss. 2-1, and that ball is drilled over towards the right side. Fly ball, and that ball is caught out there by Zenon. Made it a little interesting out there, having to jump up to make it, but made the catch nevertheless, and that's one away. When we look at the rest of the schedule for today, we have our 2 quarterfinals coming on at 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. You listen to the second game with Cabin and Ryan. That's Macon against Durham. And then we have the semifinals coming up. There's a called strike to Owen Scanlon. Righty on lefty matchup right now. And then the semifinals happen at 3:30 and 4:30. Called ball there, 1-1 strike. Whoever wins will take on the New Orleans Youth Academy or the Chicago White Sox. And then, of course, we have our nightcap game today. It'll be the Senior Baseball Championship game. There's a line drive to the right side and a nice catch. Cabello's got it in stride and brought it down for out number 2. That's just reading the ball extremely well off the bat, knowing where that was going, knowing how high you can get, because he also got a little bit of depth working his way towards shallow right center. So when the ball's trajectory was moving down, he was able to catch that at the top part of his jump. Pretty impressive. 2 down. And here comes Jackson Briggs, who takes strike 1. As for the Junior Division Championship, that's going to come on tomorrow, 9:30 a.m., and I'll have that call alongside Cam Thomas. 0-1. Fastball misses. It's 1-1 strike. Briggs plays third base for the Guardians. Helen from Ohio will put a charge into that one, but that ball is right to Cabellos, who's had a great inning here defensively. Caught a nice line drive, then completes a ground out, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Ronnie Castillo. He's retired 6 in a row. We're headed to the home half of the second inning with Team Dominican Republic up 1-0 over the Cleveland Guardians RBI squad. You're listening to the Junior Nike RBI World Series. Bottom of the second inning, and the Dominican Republic will look to add to their lead. They are up 1-0 over the Cleveland Guardians. My name is Cedric Granger. Happy to wish you a good morning here from Vero Beach, as there's a swing and a miss on a first pitch off speed for strike 1. What I've noticed for Josiah Martinez, who's in his second inning of work, kind of is like a sinker ball type of thrower, as it seems like every pitch he's had, there's some sink on it or there's some break on it. So I did mention I thought it was a bit of a changeup on that first pitch, but he might just be delivering sinkers, which is an effective way. There are a lot of guys who thrive at the college and professional level where it's basically all sinkers, where they're throwing sinkers, maybe a changeup off of that, or some other pitch, and they can be really solid. I've seen it with a lot of closers in Major League Baseball where they might throw a sinker and a change or something like that. Pretty interesting. 0-2. That's fouled back. 7, 8, 9 in the order. Batista, Duvall, and Roa. We've got some defensive switches for the Cleveland Guardians. Baez Kokia comes into play second base. Ortiz is at right field. He moved over from left. And Woodbury checks into the game. He's your new left fielder. 0-2. That misses outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Batista. Dominican Republic trying to capture some of the magic that the senior team has had. This is one of 5 teams that has both a junior and a senior division team. There's a pop-up. This one is staying in the infield. Baez Kokia gets tested after moving to second base, and he's up for the task. That's out number 1. So with 1 away in the frame, this gives way to Denzel Duvall, the catcher. Lefty on righty matchup. First offering just high of the zone. Yesterday, the Dominican Republic's senior team had a day to remember. They were trailing by 7 runs against the Atlanta Braves Nike RBI squad. And then they got rid of that lead in a hurry. That ball's put in the air over towards a left center field. Some great communication, and Barman makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down there for Josiah Martinez, and that retires Denzel Duvall. And here comes Ramsell Roa. But despite trailing 9-2, they worked themselves all the way back into the game. And even then, at the bottom of the 7th, they were trailing by 3 going into that, 11-8. And then they came up with a 4-run 7th inning and won the game. They walked it off. Not only that, they also beat undefeated Newark yesterday. And that's how they find themselves in the championship. There's a ball popped up. It's in foul ground. Here comes Shepard, makes the catch on the run, and that retires the side. A 1-2-3 inning for Josiah Martinez. He's starting to settle in to the game, and we're starting to settle into this matchup where so far it's a great showdown. 2 innings up, 2 innings down, 1-0 lead for the Dominican Republic. Top of the 3rd coming to you here at the Nike RBI World Series. Made it to the top of the third inning here at the Nike Junior RBI World Series. 1-0 lead for the DR over the Cleveland Guardians. And we got a new pitcher into the game. It's Jose Lager. He comes in for Ronnie Castillo, who was playing the opener, and he did a great job. 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, and no strikeouts. And here comes Jose Lager, who delivers a first pitch for a strike, working against Finley Barman. There's a couple of switches. Cabelos moves over to shortstop. Misiel Taveras is your second baseman. And Adrian Taveras remains at first base. But now we got 2 Taverases in the field. So just want to make sure we make that distinction. So now Barman, with his first plate appearance of the day, will swing through a high fastball for strike 2. So Jose Lager giving a different look here. Player from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. 1-2 offering. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, and that's the first strikeout of the day for Jose Lager off of the foul tip. That's a nice job, too, by the catcher, Duvall, to make that catch. Whenever you have any sort of foul tip scenario, it can change the trajectory of the ball just a little bit. That can make it hard for it to glove. They did a good job bringing that in. Here's Omar Baezcoquia. Right fielder turned second base. Swing through a first pitch strike. So far, so good for Lager. He's been on the money. What's interesting is the fact the Dominican Republic used an opener, and it may be to conserve some of their best guys, especially since you did not get the first round bye, which means you have to play a doubleheader today. You got to make sure you conserve some arms. So this could be a part of the strategy. Dominican Republic up 1-0. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Another whiff of a Lager fastball. Continuing to play red hot here. It's Baezcoquia out of Lutheran West High School. 1-2 pitch. Put that one on the ground. A roller over to the first baseman, Adrian Taveras, calls off Lager and steps on the bag for out number 2. So that's 2 up, 2 down. We turn over to the top of the lineup. We did have a substitution, as we've already seen plenty of defensive subs. It's Marcelo Woodbury into the fray. Another player out of St. Ignatius High School. You see a strong group of Catholic schools up there in Cleveland. That's something that, in Ohio, you see a ton of those. There's strong ones in Cleveland, Cincinnati, Columbus, Akron, Dayton, pretty much all over the state, and almost all of them have some really great sports programs. Attended Columbus St. Charles, and we did play against a lot of these schools, like Villa Angela St. Joseph, which is where the great Clark Kellogg went. 1 ball and 1 strike. Also the Golics, they went over to that school. But specifically in the Cleveland area, you got St. Ed's, who's an absolute powerhouse. Same thing with St. Ignatius. And that's in every sport. 1-1, swing and a miss. Ball had some sink to it as it went to the zone and forced the whiff. Bases clear. And Lager is trying to make a 9th straight retired. Swing and a miss. An off-speed pitch broke down, and Lager had himself a clinic right there on the mound. He struck out 2 to begin his outing. So we're headed to the next frame, the bottom of the 3rd in the Dominican Republic. They're up 1-0, looking to add to their lead here in the first round of the playoffs, the quarterfinals of the Nike RBI World Series. Champions of the World region versus champions of the East region. That does sound epic after all. Here at the Nike RBI World Series, battle of these two squads here in the quarterfinal for the right to be one game away from playing in the Junior RBI World Series. Last year, the Chicago White Sox, they took home the trophy. But now both the Cleveland Guardians, Dominican Republic, challenging for it themselves. But it all starts right here. Bottom of the third. And we're back to the top of the order. It's Cabellos, Lager, and Mesa. However, since there were some substitutions, we will be on the lookout to see if any players have replaced anybody. But right now, it's Cabellos up. And he took strike one. Now the next pitch is going to be flown out over towards the right side. That's down for a base hit. Barman collects it on one hop. But there's a leadoff single for Cabellos, and he's aboard for the second time today. So this will take us to Jose Lager, who now just came in to pitch. He moved from shortstop over to pitcher. 1-0 lead for the Dominican Republic. The run was scored in the first off of an error. Since then, Josiah Martinez and the Cleveland Guardians defense, they've been solid. Had a 1-2-3 inning in the second. Cabellos did try to steal last time he was up, but I'm sure after Colleran threw him out the last time, he'll think twice about it. This pitch is fouled back into a palm tree. Count is 1-1. Lager 1 for 1. He has scored the only run of the day. The Dominican Republic clad in royal blues. There's a fly ball over towards right field. Ortiz makes the catch. That's one put away in the frame. And here comes the righty, Mesa. Again, Dominican Republic, one of 5 teams that has a senior division team and a junior division team competing. The other teams, the Braves, the White Sox, Detroit, and Durham. Pop up on the first pitch. This one could stay in the infield, and it will. Bias Kokia gets a read on it and makes the catch. I think with Martinez, he throws what looks like a sinker ball quite a bit. And with it, it induces a lot of ground balls and kind of induces a lot of pop flies as well, too. If you got a guy that's kind of barreling the ball up, you can get underneath it as it's sinking and it'll lead to a pop-up. But also it can induce ground balls, too, because it can sneak off the bottom part of the bat as the ball sinks down while it's in the zone, making it a pretty effective pitch at times. Here's Zanon up at the plate. And he'll foul one over towards the right side. That ball falls harmlessly to the ground behind me. Zenon reached on an error last time he was up. And that was in the first inning, where it could have been 2-0. However, a base running mistake cost the Dominican Republic an extra run. 1-1 offering. Swing and a miss. Again, signature pitch there from Martinez. Attacking low in the zone. Josiah Martinez, lefty out of Cleveland, or check that, Brunswick High School. We'll have one that's lined over towards left field, but caught. Nice running catch by Barman, retires Zenon. And after allowing a leadoff base hit, 3 straight are retired by Josiah Martinez. We're headed to the 4th inning. We're 3 innings up, 3 innings down. Dominican Republic up 1-0 as the pitching and defense starting to get strong as we head to the middle part of this game here at the Nike RBI World Series. Top of the fourth inning here at Determination Field in the beautiful Jackie Robinson Training Complex, quarterfinal of the Nike RBI World Series between the Guardians clad in navy and the Dominican Republic clad in royal blue. I want to wish you a good morning. My name is Cedric Granger, and it's been a phenomenal game so far, low scoring, and just a razor's edge of a lead for the Dominican Republic. It's Martinez, Shepard, and Colleran working against Jose Lager, who's coming in relief as there's a nice swing over there by Martinez, and that drops for a base hit. The pitcher goes from pitching a solid inning on the mound and says, hey, I can do it both. He generates a base hit. So Martinez will have a pinch runner in for him, which is usually what happens whenever you have a pitcher or a catcher who's base hitting or who gets a base hit. So here's Taylor Monak, who comes in. So he checks into the game. Monak is out of Danbury High School. So he comes in to pinch run here in the fourth inning. Guardians looking to tie things up. They have that run now on the base paths. Bunt shown, pulled back, and it's ball one by Ryan Shepard. Shepard is out of St. Edward's High School. I mentioned that with all the elite Catholic schools in the area. That's another one. Shepard, a pop fly victim last time he was up. Lager's 1-0. And that bunt's fouled exactly backwards. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike. When it comes to the standings in Pool A, New Orleans, they won the division 2-0-1. Durham also undefeated. However, they do have to play the extra game. So again, this division with the ties, it made it very tricky with the tiebreakers. You couldn't just do head-to-head, 1-1. Bunt, placed down. Lager is ready. Quick throw to second. Gets the force out there. Throws it over to first. And is not in time for the first base guy. However, that is 1 out. And nice work there by Lager, where he had to turn all the way around, but that ball was an absolute rope. Cabello's gloved it at second and then tried to pick up 2 outs. But for now, it's a fielder's choice. So a 1-6 fielder's choice retires Monak, but Shepard takes his place now at first base. And with 1 away, here comes Braden Colleran. Lager had his strikeout stuff on in the third inning. They'll look to capture some of that as there's a fly ball. This one's over into right center. Roa able to track it down, throw down to first base, and it's a little bit too slow to the bag. However, that is 2 put away. And the last 2 pitches now for Jose Lager. Good job by Shepard to keep his eyes up there. As anytime you see the ball hanging up in the air, you do want to try to run as much as you can, but you also have to do it within reason, because if that ball is caught, then you got to find yourself sprinting back. You actually saw that in the playoffs in Major League Baseball, Atlanta and Philly, where there was an insane catch by the Braves. There's a pickoff attempt not in time. And Bryce Harper, he was going from first, and he was already at third base when the insane catch was made, and then he was thrown out at the bag. Tavares up at the plate. Takes strike 1 on a fastball. Fastball really did look great from Lager. He picked up 1 strikeout on a fastball, and then he also picked up a strikeout on a breaking ball. Tavares, son of a big leaguer, started off his career with Cleveland. 0-1. That one's chopped down the middle, just over the glove of the pitcher. Now some trouble, throws it over to second, and just in time, Cabello's able to track that one down after fumbling it temporarily, and then Tavares completes the force out at second. So that retires the side, a base hit for the Guardians, but the Dominican Republic, they lead 1-0 as we head to the home half of the fourth inning at Determination Field. Breakfast in baseball, no better combination as we begin the bottom of the fourth inning. Dominican Republic back to the fray, working against Josiah Martinez, who's now beginning his fourth inning of work. He'll face off against the 5'6'7", Pinheiro, Tavares, and Batista. Ball put on the ground and through the left center field gap. Right in between shortstop and third base to perfection as there's a leadoff base hit for Pinheiro, the fourth hit of the day for the Dominican Republic. Third time today in which the leadoff man has been on the base pass for the DR. This brings on the first baseman, Adrian Tavares. 1-0 lead for the Dominican Republic. That one run was scored in the bottom of the first. Bunt initially shown, but the ball taken high and away. We talked about how much of an enigma the division was in Pool A for the Guardians, as they were 0-2-1 but did make the playoffs. And then you had a situation where you had two undefeated teams where only one of them got the bye and the other has to play a doubleheader today despite not losing a game. But at the end of the day, if you made it to this point and you've had to win a lot of games to even get here, and you have to prove you're the best of the best. 1-1. That one is popped towards foul ground over towards the right side, and no play there from Shepard. But a fantastic effort to try to run that down. Cleveland's got a lot of fans who have made the trip down from Ohio to Florida. A lot of chants, some of the chants to the same cadence as the Cleveland Browns chants. Of course, that's one of the more popular teams up there. Browns and guards. Fly ball into left center field. Barman makes the call, makes the catch. He's done a good job out there at center field. Whenever you're the center fielder, you're the outfielder that gets to determine if it's your ball or not. You take the priority, and he's done a good job being assertive out there. Here's Raymond Batista. He's got one runner on the base pass and a 1-0 advantage as he'll swing on that sinker over towards left field. Woodbury makes the catch. And in the last two pitches, that's 2 outs here for Josiah Martinez, who's really starting to get into a groove right now. 2027 class. He is talented. Way at Brunswick High School, I have a really good friend named Michael Gregory, Brunswick graduate. First pitch is taken low and away. 1 ball and no strikes to Denzel Duval. Fly out last time he was up. Lefty on righty matchup. That ball takes a hop in the dirt, but a good stop there by Colleran. Competitive game we have here in the first round of the playoffs. This is the quarterfinal. Winner goes to the semifinal to either take on the Chicago White Sox or New Orleans. Swing and a miss there for strike one on a sinker. Main reason why we don't know yet is that it's NFL-style playoffs where the highest seed, which is New Orleans, they get to take on whoever is the highest seed remaining, or low seed remaining, rather. There's a roller over to the third baseman, Briggs. Long throw across the diamond, and it is right on the money, like an archer. And that retires the side. Leadoff man on, but 3 straight retired for the second consecutive inning for Josiah Martinez. Here's through 4 innings of 1-run baseball, and now we're headed to the 5th inning. 3 innings to win it on this beautiful morning for baseball at the Nike RBI World Series. We played 4 innings here at the JRTC Determination Field and the quarterfinal of the Nike RBI World Series. I want to wish you once again a good morning. My name is Cedric Granger, and we are about 1 hour into this game, and we've seen some great pitching, some great defense, and we have a new arm on the mound for the Dominican Republic working against Owen Scanlon, Jackson Briggs, and Finley Barman in this frame. Pinheiro delivers his first pitch, and that one misses low. 1 ball and no strikes. So as we mentioned, Pinheiro, he is the new pitcher in. Andel Pinheiro Espinosa from Barahona, Dominican Republic. Class of 2027 player. Next pitch is going to be swung on and fouled to the right side by Scanlon. Lager's day is done, as it's been pitching by committee today. To great effect for the Dominican Republic. Lager, 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks. He struck out 2. Came in for the starter, or more like an opener, Ronnie Castillo. 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, and no walks in his start as well. Counts 1-2 now after back-to-back foul balls from Scanlon. Defensive change. Lager is now your third baseman. He moved from pitcher. So Pinheiro and Lager, they just swap places, because Pinheiro was the third baseman in the prior innings. In with the 1-2. That ball's lined over to right center, stays low, and drops for a base hit. Scanlon's baseball there finds the turf, and it's a leadoff base hit, which is the third leadoff base hit that we've seen from Cleveland. All of their base hits today have been leadoff ones. So this gives way here to Jackson Briggs. Tying run now on the base pass for Cleveland, clad in what are their City Connect jerseys, at least the big league team. That's the brand new City Connect jerseys that they just debuted, and there's a balk. The balk pushes Scanlon to second, and now the Guardians fans who made the trip down south starting to get a little more energized now. Be up to the Dominican Republic to stave them off now. Dominican Republic, reminder, top seed by record in Pool B. They went 2-1, but the sad news, 2 other teams went 2-1 as well. White Sox 2-1, Macon 2-1. They all tied for first, and the White Sox won the tiebreaker. Reminder, White Sox won it last year. There's a quick throw over to second. Double play. Started by Pinheiro. Blink and you'll miss it. And just like that, the bases are clear. If you weren't awake yet, that one will wake you up. So a line out from Briggs, right back to the pitcher. Pinheiro not only caught the ball, but had the wherewithal to turn around and throw it to second base for 2 outs. That's something that can steal momentum right there. So here's Finley Barman to try to generate a 2-out rally for the Guardians. Righty on a lefty showdown. 1-0. Swing and a miss. A ball that sunk into the ground from this angle. Breaking ball. Count as 1 ball and 1 strike. One home. That ball hit to the right side, and that's just past the outstretched glove of Tavares. Rolls into right field, and there's a 2-out base hit. First hit of the day for Barman. So Barman, a strikeout victim last time, faces a different pitcher, gets a better result. And now the tying run is back on the base pass. And here is Omar Baezcoquia. First pitch is a fastball strike. Class of 2026 player, Omar Baezcoquia, grounded out to first base last time he was up, so made contact. I'm going to make contact with this one as well, but it's fouled off. So the Guardians' third base coach shows he still got it, made that play on a chopper. So right now, Pinheiro Has Bayaskokia right where he wants him. 0-2. 2 away in the frame, top of the fifth. And a 1-0 lead for the Dominican Republic. Guards with a runner on the base pass. He's the tying run. The 0-2 from number 2-0. But he'll call time. Fantastic slate of games today. We have a game just underway in our other quarterfinal. That is Durham versus Macon. Out of 2 teams from the southeast. 0-2 offering. Ball rolled on the ground in between third base and shortstop. Gloved by the third baseman. Lager goes the short route, gets it to Tavares, and that retires the side. So the Guardians, they do threaten a little bit, but a great double play started by Pinheiro on catching a line drive right back to him and then threw it down to second, ultimately neutralized the threat from the Guardians. And here comes the Dominican Republic, a chance to double their lead or maybe more when we come back for the bottom of the fifth. Bottom of the fifth inning, where we have seen nothing but zeros on the scoreboard since the Dominican Republic took the lead in the bottom of the first inning. 1-0 lead for the DR, but to look to add to it. It's Ramsell Roa leading things off. Cabelos and Lager, you'll also see the 9-1-2 in the orders. There's a bunt. It's a good one. All the way over to the third base line, and there will be no play. Martinez tried to get a throw off, but Roa had a fantastic bunt there. That's the fundamentals. And a runner's aboard. There's not been a ton of base hits in this game, but when they do happen, they tend to be leadoff base hits. That is the third leadoff base hit of the day for the Dominican Republic. And there have just been 5 hits total. So it kind of showcases the pitching style of Martinez. It seems like guys can get an early read on it, but then he settles into the inning, and things kind of grow from there. He's been pitching really well. 4 innings of work. And he's generated a lot of soft contact, missing barrels. That's what a good sinker baller can do. One ball, one strike here at Determination Field. Winner of this game takes on either the defending champs, Chicago White Sox, or New Orleans, who does have a win against Cleveland. 1-1 offering. That ball high up in the air. This one is over towards right field. Ortiz comes in and makes the catch moving forward. Once again, though, a lot of fly balls generated, a lot of weaker ground balls generated from the pitching style of Josiah Martinez. So 1 away in the frame. And here is Jose Lager. Productive day for him already, 1 for 2, and has scored the lone run of the game. Also pitched 2 innings too. Gave up no runs and struck out 2. He looks at strike 1, count is 0-1. 0-1, runner goes, but it's a fly ball. This one is over towards the right side. The runner's going to have to retreat, Roa back home, or back to first, I should say, and Ortiz makes the catch, and that's 2 away. So back-to-back flyouts to right field. And this will bring on Juan Carlos Mesa. Juan Carlos trying to make the most out of this sequence. Reached on an error last time he was up. Check that first time he was up. Second time he was popped up. Just like this time, he'll pop that one up, but that's in foul territory. Count is quickly 0-1. Martinez looks to complete 5. Next pitch is a sinker that's fouled off to the right side, 0-2. Started with 8 teams in this junior division tournament. We are down to just 6. And at the end of this 2-hour block, we'll be down to just 4. The final 4, 0-2. That one sails high. Overall, with this full tournament, 325 total athletes, 17 different cities. That doesn't also even account for all the towns that these players are from and the various schools that they represent. Temperature starting to rise, so Martinez wipes some sweat. And now back on the mound, up in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rug him up, called strike 3. First strikeout of the day for Josiah Martinez. He got him on a sinker. We're headed to the 6th inning, and Martinez has completed 5. However, the Dominican Republic, they still have the lead 1-0 as we are in the quarterfinal here at the Nike RBI World Series. The pitching and defense of the Cleveland Guardians have kept them in the game. However, the pitching and defense from the Dominican Republic has not budged to this point. 5 innings up, 5 innings down. Dominican Republic up 1-0 here on MLB.com. Win or go home. This is an elimination game for both of these squads. The Dominican Republic, their junior team trying to be like the senior team who's already in the championship round as they will take on the Chicago White Sox later today. And now the junior team looking to have the same success Then on the other side, the Cleveland Guardians, 0-2-1 in their pool, did not win a single game there, but were very close to winning each of those 3 games. They could have very easily have been 3-0 with some breaks going their way. But due to a tiebreaker, they're in the tournament in this quarterfinal. Be Woodbury, Martinez, and Shepard. The 1-2-3, top of the order, working against Pineros. There's a swing and a miss for a strike. That time Woodbury was above a fastball. Last time Marcelo Woodbury was up, it was a strikeout swinging back in the 3rd. He came in for Fernando Tirado, who had a leadoff infield single, 0-1. Swing and a miss. Some good speed on these pitches by Pineros. He's up in the velocity. And so far, Woodbury's been high of those pitches each of the last 2 times. Pinheiro up in the count in his 2nd inning of work, deals the 0-2. That time it's a breaking ball that misses inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sand in the hourglass starting to wane thin here for the Guardians. Got 2 innings left to bat. There's a ball put on the ground. Moving to his left is Cabellos. Gathers, fires, long throw in time. So far, the infield has been impermeable for the Dominican Republic. So here comes Josiah Martinez. He's already pitched 5 innings of work and has also produced on offense. He has a base hit to his name on the day, 1 for 2. But unfortunately for him, his pinch runner was ultimately put out. There's a ball put on the ground, no problem for Adrian Tavares. Steps on the bag ever so clean. And that is 2 quick outs for Pinheiro. The strategy for the Dominican Republic has been a pitching staff by committee, but every last one of these pitchers has been just as effective as the last. Castillo, 2 innings pitched, no runs. Lager, 2 innings pitched, no runs. And Pinheiro so far, 1 2/3, looking to make it 2 here against Shepard. Righty on lefty matchup. And the first pitch is taken for a ball. Shepard had a pop fly. He also hit into a fielder's choice last time he was up. It was a 1-6 fielder's choice. And in that sequence, he did place a bunt. It could have been a sacrifice bunt to get a runner in scoring position. However, Lager did a great job to get a full 180-degree turn and threw it to second base to get the leadoff guy out instead of first base. A decision that certainly helped out the Dominican Republic, as they do have some bullpen activity right now. They may be warming up a closer. 1-1. This pitch sinks low in the zone and misses 2 balls and 1 strike. It's Virgilio Javier who's warming up. There's also a second arm, it seems like, who's also over there in the pen. 2-1. Called strike. Reminder, whoever gets to the championship MVP gets to go to the World Series, all expenses paid. Quite an award there for the team that can finish it off. Also comes with the pride you give your community. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on. Top of the 6th, 2-2. And Shepard stays alive. Fourth game for both of these teams. Both of these squads know that if they win, they're going to have to play a doubleheader either at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, barring any potential weather delays. 2-2 offering. That ball is hit over to center field and drops for a base hit. Right in front of Roa. He couldn't get to it. And Shepard has himself a 2-out base hit. That's clutch there for the first baseman, Shepard. And now the Guardians have their tying run on the base pass. And they're going to need a two-out rally of two-out rallies here. They turn to Braden Colleran, who's gotten great contact not once but twice today. However, they've both been to the center fielder, Roa. I'm curious if the Guardians will look to challenge the defense for the Dominican Republic and see how they deal with runners attempting to steal. Shepard starting to build off a little bit of a lead off here, about 5 feet off of the first base bag. Here's the first pitch to Colleran. Fastball high. That's ball one. Stellar game right now to start our quarterfinal action. That's here in the morning block. Then the teams get to have lunch, get off their feet for a little bit, and then the winners get to play their next opponents. Next pitch goes awry. And it looks like it did hit off of the batter Colleran. So that's even better for Cleveland. Now they get runners on first and second. Go-ahead run is on the base pass. And here's a big spot for Julian Taveras. So it looked like Pinheiro was rolling through this inning. And now things getting a little dicey. Can Pinheiro shut things down for the Dominican Republic here? Or will it be Taveras coming through in the clutch? Pinheiro versus Taveras. Round one goes to Pinheiro. Taveras, a fly out first time he was up and hit into a fielder's choice to retire the side. So he did put a ball in play. Next offering. That count runs even, 1 ball and 1 strike. Taveras at a Broadview Heights, Ohio. Sending North Royalton High School. 1-1. Swings at that one. Over to left center. That's down for a base hit. Wave around is coming. Here comes Shepard, but now he pauses, and now he's caught in a rundown. He's had to work his way to home plate. Duvall makes the tag, and that is that. Side retired as the Guardians fell themselves 20 feet away from taking the lead. But the Dominican Republic, they come through. However, there will be a bit of a conference there as there was a huge collision between Duvall and Shepard. And we hope that each of these guys are okay. We'll take a break. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll make sure to update on our players when we come back here on MLB.com. home half of the sixth inning, and we have diagnosed the situation that happened at the end of the top of the sixth. So a runner was coming in. That was Shepard, and he was put out on what was a fantastic throw in center field from Roa. Got it back into the infield, relay back to the plate, and that throw beat Shepard well before he can make his way there. And then, fortunately, there was a collision where fortunately, Shepard and the catcher Duvall were okay. They're back up as there's a ball quickly put on the ground. That's through for a base hit. Lead off for Julio Zenon. And if you're the Dominican Republic, you want to add some extra insurance. The Guardians have threatened a couple of times in this game. But we got a little bit of a pattern going right now. This is the fourth consecutive lead-off base hit from the Dominican Republic. However, after each of those base hits, it's been a 1-2-3 frame afterwards for Martinez. So he's recorded 3 outs in a row. So we'll see if Pinheiro can break that streak here. Or we'll just say baseball's a game of patterns. First pitch bunt attempt rolls harmlessly into the ground. That's one of the best opportunities for Cleveland today, and that's just been how it's been so far in this World Series, where it's just like one play here, one play there. They've been right there in every single game. Swing and a drive over towards left field. In comes Woodbury. He makes the catch. And that's out number 1. Martinez has had himself a game right now. 5 1/3 innings of work. 6 hits. No earned runs. He has thrown strikes. He hasn't walked guys. Only 1 walk. And 1 strikeout. You can't ask for a much better start there. 0 ERA. But 2 errors defensively by Cleveland in that opening inning. That's been the one thing that's cooked their goose to this point. But still time. But they only have 1 more offensive frame as we're in the bottom of the 6th. In a game that's rolled along. We're an hour and 26 minutes in. Our pitching and defense has stood strong. Adrian Taveras up at the plate. Up in the count. 1 ball, no strikes against Josiah Martinez. There's a drive, or a chop over to the left side. Third baseman gloves it. Briggs on the run. It throws it down to first base, and that's an out. That was best case scenario for the Guardians on that chopper, because in terms of who was in best position to make a good throw to first base, it was not the shortstop nor the pitcher, but it was the third baseman Briggs who was moving towards first base, and he was able to get some good velocity on his throw. Here's Raymond Batista. Runner now on second. And there's one that gets away. And now Zenon would be the second run of the day for the Dominican Republic. He's 90 feet away. Count is 0-1, 2 away. Was a strike. That's the good news for Martinez. However, now the Dominican Republic's 1 base hit away from doubling their lead. This pitch is low in the dirt. 1-1. Dominican Republic looking to get to the semifinal round. Either earn themselves a rematch against the Chicago White Sox or play New Orleans as their swing and a hit over towards left center. Long run and caught! Woodbury able to track that one down over his shoulder. And that retires the side for the 4th consecutive inning. Leadoff man gets on, and then 3 consecutive outs after that. Great day for Martinez. 6 innings of work, 5 hits, and he has given up no earned runs. However, he needs his offense to back him up. The Guardians have 1 final chance when we come back. 1 to send it to the bottom of the 7th. 2 to put all the pressure on the Dominican Republic. 6 innings up, 6 innings down. Quarterfinal here at the Nike RBI World Series. What an exhilarating way to start your morning here at Determination Field, where it'll take a lot of determination here from the Cleveland Guardians if they can dig in and try to find that one run. They trail 1-0, top of the 7th. Win or go home. Scanlon, Briggs, Barman against a new pitcher. We'll introduce them after this first pitch sails high for ball 1. Virgilio Javier is the new pitcher in out of Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. He's the closer today. And he'll look to get 3 outs. That's all that stands in between the Dominican Republic and a trip to the semifinal of the RBI World Series. For the Guardians, they know they need 1 run to keep this game alive, 2 runs to put the pressure on the offensive DR. Next pitch fouled off for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pinero's day is done. 2 innings of work, 4 hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. He continues the great day as it's been pitching by committee for the Dominican Republic. Javier, the 4th arm of the day. He rung him up. Called strike 3. First strikeout of the day for Javier. And that's 1 down. That's exactly how Virgilio wanted to start off this outing. That is the 3rd strikeout for the staff today for the Dominican Republic. 2 outs away. But tying run up at the plate, it's Jackson Briggs. First pitch is a fastball with some good speed, but high. Winner either takes on Chicago or New Orleans for the right to play for the RBI World Series Championship tomorrow morning. 1-0 offering. Fastball misses outside. It's been a teamwork makes the dream work type of day for the Dominican Republic. 4 pitchers used. And the Guardians, they have threatened on offense. 2-0. And that's outside. 3 balls, no strikes. Shepard was 20 feet away. He was down the 3rd baseline heading towards home when he was put out by Duvall. That's how close the Guardians were to tying this game. 3-0 home. And that's low and away. That's ball 4. Tying run is on the base pass. It's represented by number 13, Jackson Briggs. Can Cleveland move him around? 1 out. Finley Barman, who had a base hit last time he was up, takes center stage. Javier's pitch. That one's low. He's missed the zone 5 times in a row now. He'll look to get back on track here. Best of the East region, best of the world region. Little conference on the mound to try to get Javier settled. And we may see a swap here in catcher, and we will. Adrian Taveras is going to come down to be the new catcher. And I wonder if that's something where it is chemistry, because chemistry between a pitcher and catcher is huge, and maybe Javier more experienced working with Taveras. And also Duvall's had a lot to deal with in this game, including having the big collision in that last frame. So maybe moving him to first base is going to help. So a little trade in pitcher or in catcher's gear. So once again, Duvall to first base. Taveras is now behind the dish doing the catching. Stands right now, 1 runner on. He is the tying run. It is Jackson Briggs. Guardians need 1 run to send this into a bottom of the 7th inning. If they were to score 2 runs, then Dominican Republic would find themselves trailing for the first time today. Now, with this being the playoffs, there are no ties, so we will have a winner. This is what it's all about right here. Fantastic game to start off the morning. We're still not done as well. We got a full slate of action here in the junior division and as well 1 game in the senior division. But that 1 game is just nothing slight. It's just a championship game. Obviously a huge game right there. That's going to be at Holman Stadium coming up later tonight. Great broadcast there. Cam Thomas on the call. We have Monet coming in as well to do sideline reporting. Candy as the color commentator. Should be a good outing, a good show over there for you between Dominican Republic and Chicago White Sox. We're back to the action. Here's Barman, and he takes strike one. Seems like some immediate dividends now with the new catcher coming in. Dominican Republic rocking their royal blues. Javier coming in to close. Here's the pitch. That's low. Barman, a strikeout victim. First time he was up, earned a base hit in his second plate appearance. 2-1 offering, and he swings at the high heat. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Guardians have not had a game yet in this tournament that has been decided by more than 2 runs. 2-2 home. And that one's taken low. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Trouble with it from Tavares. And the tying run is in scoring position. Briggs to second. Pass ball. Little hesitation at first there by Briggs, but he turned on the Jets. 3 balls, 2 strikes, payoff pitches of payoff pitches. Coming in this bottom of the 7th, or top of the 7th rather. Righty on lefty showdown. And you can tell by the crowd energy what this will be. 3-2. Guardians faithful on fire right now. After the walk, they now have their winning run, or what would be the go-ahead run, I should say, on the base pass. Fernando Tirado is in the on-deck circle. He is now re-entering for Marcelo Woodbury. Omar Baez-Kokia. 1 away in the frame. Runners on first. Runners on second. Javier on the mound looking to close. Here's the pitch. Fastball just outside. And right now Javier struggling to throw strikes. 1-0 home. On the money for a strike this time. It's been a lot of fastballs for Javier. Going back to what he can do, but we'll see if this may be the end of the day for him. Or it may just be another meeting on the mound. We'll see if any other pitchers are warming up. But here comes the coaching staff for the Dominican Republic. What an exciting game this has been. The lone run of the day came from the Dominican Republic in the bottom of the first inning. And what's crazy, they could have had a second run. However, the runner missed the bag. And that's why it's only 1-0. And those runs, they came because of 2 errors. Otherwise, Martinez has been flawless. On the mound for the Guardians, he probably would be the guy to come back out. So Javier will stay out there, get some coaching points, takes a deep breath, nods his head, and throws his pitch. 1-1. Little off speed there, and that is strike 2. Some good coaching there from the DR staff. 1-2. That's low. A great stop there by Tavares. He needed to stop that. If he didn't block it, would have been runners on second and third. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pickoff attempt, not in time. Fantastic atmosphere here at the Determination Field at the JRTC. Passionate fan bases, parents supporting their sons, and family members. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. It was a check swing from Bayaskokia, but did go around just enough. And Javier's got his second strikeout of the day, and the Guards are down to their final out. Turn over the lineup card. Tirado back into the game. He had a base hit in his only plate appearance. Trying to keep this game alive. First pitch off speed and for a strike. And it looks like there was a balk. A balk is called. Second and third. Tying run 90 feet away. Go ahead run in scoring position. And what was a strike now isn't. Temperature is rising, pressure rising in this game. It's Briggs, 90 feet away. Here we go. And that's strike 1. This is what you live for if you're a baseball fan right now. Oh, 1. Ball hit in the air. Over towards the right fielder, Zenon. He makes the catch, and the Dominican Republic, they win against the Cleveland Guardians. They're headed to the semifinal. A close as can be game. As the final score, 1-0. Dominican Republic with a run off of 2 mistakes by the Cleveland Guardians in that bottom of the first inning. And that was all it took, thanks to a combined shutout from this Dominican Republic pitching staff. Amazing effort on both sides. These teams left it all out on the field. What a game right there. That's the way to start off a day here with the junior division. Final tally lines. Despite the fact that Martinez pitched a complete game, even though gave him no earned runs, does get tagged with the loss, but he pitched very well. 6 innings pitched in this game. Gave up 6 hits, 1 run, no earned runs. Did not walk a lot of guys, just 1 batter, and he struck out 1. Gets the loss. Really good performance, though, by him, nevertheless. Ronnie Castillo, he started off the game, 2 innings pitched, 1 hits, no earned runs. Jose Lager, 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs. Pinero, 2 innings pitched, 4 hits, no runs. And then the save pitcher for Julio Javier, he finishes the day, 1 inning pitched, no hits, 2 strikeouts, and then, of course, able to pitch the end of the game despite dealing with runners on second and runners on third. A valiant effort by both squads, but the Dominican Republic, they go home with the W as they will take on either the Chicago White Sox or New Orleans when we come back later this afternoon. Make sure to stay tuned to MLB Twitter online to make sure that you can find out which team is playing which team. And, of course, that game will be streamed right here on MLB.com. And as for the Guardians, a great season for them. They are your East champs in the RBI World Series, at least in their region. So that's something to not be able to feel too bad about. You can hang your hat on that. Still taking on some hardware for this year. And they gave the Dominican Republic everything in which they could handle. Great game here to start off the day. 1-0 win for the Dominican Republic. My name is Cedric Granger, wishing you a goodbye from Determination Field. More baseball action coming to you later today.